Okay, my couture crafters, let's get into this last fairy art journal-esque kind of card, I guess. It's not going to be a card that I send out. It's just, actually, I might turn it into a little fairy booklet. Who knows? Who knows? This sucker is long though. It's 11 inches, so it is the full length of a letter sheet. It's on glossy cardstock, so I'm using archival ink so that it does not budge. And I'm using my Tim Holtz platform so that I can stamp it multiple times in one spot without it moving. In theory, because it's not hanging over, I can do that. I can push it in that corner and it will stamp in the same spot several times. I got a good impression the first time out, so I will not need to be restamping it, but eh. So now I do something not smart. I don't know what I was thinking. Actually, I don't do it often, so this should be the opposite direction. I'm thinking I'm getting ready to make a hill, and I do, but it's not what I was going for. And so I'm using another mini archival ink and a little dauber, and I'm just grounding the fairy. I'm making it so that she's standing on something. And she does end up standing on something, but again, it should have gone the opposite direction. And now I'm doing this, but I didn't put it up high enough. So I'm going to have to do it one more time. Lift it up and get those feet. There we go. And then we finally have her grounded. Again, dauber, little mini archival inks. And I think this is not one of the Tim Holtz colors, I don't think. Archival ink makes distress colors now, which is so good. I need them to come out with all the colors. I find myself using those mini archival inks kind of often. The reason why I like them is because they're not water reactive. So they definitely have a place in my stash. Because you guys know the only colors I'm buying right now are Catherine Pooler and all the Alta News as far as dye ink goes. I just don't have space for all of the dye inks in the world. I am looking to buy the Rena K. I don't know if I've purchased it already, the Electro Pop collection. I keep thinking that I bought it, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm imagining things, but I thought I purchased them. But they are neon, and so I want some neon inks in my collection. But other than that, I stick to Catherine Pooler and Altenew. This foliage is from Crafter's Companion. You can see the packaging over there. I think I got this during the holiday season. So it's either from the holiday set or the regular enchanted set. They have two that I know of, and they're probably still available right now on HSN on the website. And so I'm just going around the bottom with this blue color. I don't know why I chose this blue. I just did. I don't love that I chose to ground the fairy in brown. I should have grounded them in black, but hey, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. And so again, I'm just taking it down the bottom half of this card. The bottom portion is not even the bottom half. And now I'm using the black archival ink again to stamp this. I just love this flower, but it turns out I don't have a ton of foliage the way that I want to, especially long, like sizable stamps. All those stamps that you see to the left are super small. So I don't love that for the size cards that I like to work with. For whatever reason, it pulled up some of the card, so I'm going to have to go over that with a black micron pen. Micron, remember, is water resistant also. So if you need to do something permanent, you can use that. You cannot color with Copics, though, with archival or the micron pen. Actually, the micron pens are Copic safe, if my mind serves me correctly. Anyway, I'm using Spiced Marmalade, which is a Tim Holtz Distress ink color in the archival ink. Boy, I love the fact that they have archival ink now. And I love the way that this color comes up on this card. You can't see it a ton, but that was the point. You just kind of want it to drift in the background. Everything that I stamp in black is what I want in the foreground. I want it in the forefront. I want your eyes to be drawn to it. Everything that I stamp in a color, I kind of expect it to go to the background. So again, just using the Spice Marmalade, archival ink. I'm working on glossy paper. I can actually, the ink that I use to put down is not archival. It's just regular dye ink, which did not smear. It's on there really well. Once it dries, it's there. But I wonder if, I don't know, I should try spraying some water on it and seeing if I can get it to react on this glossy paper. I'm not sure what the properties are, but I do know that I was able to stamp with regular dye ink on glossy cardstock, and after it dried completely, you can hit it with a heat gun, it didn't smear. VersaFine Clear smeared. I did a little test between playing today, and that VersaFine Clear smeared everywhere. Gina K Amalgam ink smeared. Something else smeared. I don't know what it was, but I had really, really good luck with the actual dye inks, and then the archival inks. Just they're made not to budge. Now I'm going around with a little cluster of stars, and just stamping them in a yellow-esque color of archival ink, and I'm just stamping them all around. And next, I was thinking about grabbing another one of these little stars and doing some more stars, and then I was over it. Then I thought we need to do something with these little bulbs down there, which the fairy is enchanting. Actually, I grabbed my micron pens and went over that spot up there. It like pulled up the paper. I don't know. It was too much going on there. Maybe I left it down too long. Most people, when they stamp and then they lift up super quickly. That doesn't give your ink time to set into the paper. So I left it on there just a little bit too long. That probably would not have happened if I was using a rubber stamp, but these clear stamps have a place too, because you can see through them, so you know where you're placing them. But rubber stamps really are some of the best stamps for impressions and releasing on paper. So now I'm using a technique that should have worked had I been using regular paper. On glossy paper, this does not work well. If you look to the left, you can see that you can tap the tips of the marker and pick up the color, and then it goes into a gradient, which is what I was trying to do. On glossy paper, though, it never actually goes into the gradient. It takes too long because I guess it's slick and it's sliding around and it's not actually absorbing enough of the ink. So that did not work out the way that I wanted it to. Instead, I just decided to paper piece it. Not a big deal. And all that means is that I'm going to stamp it out on a blank sheet of paper. I'm going to color it. Then I'm going to piece it or glue it onto the other sheet. I am not a fussy cutter. I do not like to do it. It bothers me. However, sometimes you can't get the effect that you want without doing it. So here I just cut out the little bulbs, and then I trace them with a black marker so that they don't have any white edges, and then you just glue them down. It's not necessary to be very, very precise when doing this. You just want to cut on the black lines. And there we go. I decided to change the color to blue. Then I went ahead and added a ton of shimmer. Like, those suckers shimmer like none other. Then I added a little bit of shimmer to that wand. And now I'm going around the edge of the card with stickles, which is basically glitter glue. I decided that it needed a sentiment, so I went ahead and stamped down the word twinkle, which came from the Crafter's Companion set. It's a holiday set, and there are two sentiments I can use. There's a twinkle, and then something else that says like sparkle. Everything else is like have a magical Christmas, and that's not helpful. So I need fairy words. Don't worry, I'm definitely buying some more Livinia stamps. And there she is. I really like the way that card came out. It's pretty. So I added a few highlights with my white pen, and then I decided that I wanted to add even more sparkles. So these are Nouveau drops in like a crystal clear kind of color. So I'm adding some Nouveau crystals to the wand and just around in general. I just kind of go around and add some sparkle. Now, I don't love glitter. I have some, and I think that I'm getting ready to bust it out while I'm going through these fairies or my little fairy series. But not the biggest fan of the glitter. But how can you have a fairy card without any sparkle? That's why I'm super thankful to have those. I have some Nouveau pens in like blue and pink and purple. It was a set with the gel shimmer in there. So I'll probably be using those. Again, this is glossy cardstock, so I have to be careful to make sure whatever I use on top of it will actually dry and not mess it up too bad. But again, more fairy stuff to purchase to come. I did a bunch of backgrounds and I just ended up playing and I really enjoyed myself. So I hope you guys enjoyed these two fairy cards or art journal-esque kind of things. They might turn into an art journal soon, or I'll glue them in a journal or something. We'll see. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye-bye.